Hey guys, it's AJ and welcome back to our channel. So I can't believe that we're already 2 weeks into February, and I know I'm a little bit late to the Techo Kaigi train, but that's mostly because I was doing a bunch of traveling in the last few weeks of 2024. And I didn't actually get my 2025 journals until I was already 1 week into January. And the main reason being I wanted to buy them in Japan. But I just thought it's better late than never, and I really wanted to share with you guys my plan with my journals this year. Last year was the year that I picked journaling back up after a long break, and I was basically only doing daily entries in my Hobonichi A6. And for 2025, I wanted to make it a bigger goal for myself to be able to maintain more than just one journal. And just to have more organization in my life now that me and Sarah are making more content, we're scheduling more things, and hopefully this year, some new and exciting things will happen for us. So it's also, in a way, to manifest some positive energy and momentum for Nookens. I'll be going through each journal that I've picked up for 2025, how I've customized them, how I plan to use them for journaling, goal tracking, and task management, and lastly, the tools and decoration I want to use in them. So with that being said, let's jump right in. So because this Techo Kaigi is almost 2 months late, I thought I'd introduce each journal and also give a small update on how it's working for me so far. This year, I'm using a mix of daily, weekly, and flexible journaling systems just to keep everything organized and creative. I'm still pretty new to the journaling world, although in the last year I learned so much. There's still so much that I can learn and be inspired by. So let's start with the first journal. This is my Hobonichi Techo in the size A6. I got this Hobonichi from the Tobichi store in Tokyo about a week into 2025, and I've just caught up to a ton of journaling I missed since I got it. I've used the Hobonichi Techo on and off for about 2 full years, once in 2020, but sad to say I only got about midway into that journal before I stopped, mainly because that was the height of the lockdown and not much was happening. The second time being last year when Sarah gifted me this one for Christmas in 2023, where I actually managed to journal every single day of that year. So why I chose to do this format again, this layout gives me enough space to capture basically everything that I need, and the paper is perfect for fountain pens. The A6 is a great size too because I can easily bring this along with me when I leave the house. This year I plan to stay more on top of my daily journals. Last year I neglected it and would have entries pile up and would do like a week's worth in one day, which basically goes against the purpose of why I wanted to do it. And so for 2025, I want to make sure I'm dedicating 30 minutes a day to do my daily entry. Also, another thing I strive to do is to not hold myself back from using all my stationery such as stickers, washi, and stamps to decorate it. And so for how it's going so far, I've been introducing doodles and widening my pages a bit more, but you can still tell that I'm in the habit of writing essays about each day, which makes the pages feel cluttered. So looking at it now, I definitely want to widen my margins and give the photos more room to breathe and to introduce stickers and whatnot. But yeah, I'm liking my approach more this year, and I'm excited to see myself embrace more decorative and illustrative things to document my memories rather than just writing blocks and blocks of text. Another thing I want to try is following some journal prompts, maybe in place of just writing about what I did that day, just because I feel like that could get stale or mundane, and some days I maybe just didn't do that much. So this means I can do some self-reflection or gratitude journaling in place of just talking about what I did. As for the setup of the journal, the cover I chose for it features Pico and Poco on a newspaper spread. You might recognize Pico from the packaging of the popular Japanese milk candies brand. I picked this cover up from a store on Etsy, and I put a cover on top of it to protect it. In the slots, I don't really keep anything as of now except for these couple of zinc paper scraps from photos I printed out, and I mainly keep it here to have a quick template on how much room my photo will take in my journal, just so I know how much room I should leave for it. So I have this like medium size photo and this small size photo, so I basically know how much room to keep around it. And in the back, I keep this pencil board just in case I need something to write on. This one is the Paddington Bear one that I got also at Tobichi. It's super cute. If you haven't seen my Japan stationery haul video, I went to Japan for about a week and I did a haul about everything I got there, so be sure to check that out. So the last thing I wanted to mention about this planner is that last year in my Hobonichi, when I wanted to print photos and stick them inside the planner, I'd use this Canon Selfie CP1500, which is an amazing tool and it prints beautiful photos. However, I found that the thickness of the photo paper really added to the heft and thickness of the planner. And so for this year, I wanted to try a zinc-based photo printer. I bought this Canon Ivy for on-the-go printing and to bring on trips, but I like how the paper has its own adhesive and it isn't as thick. So I'm thinking I'll try this out for the beginning of this year and see if I like it better. I think the only downside of this paper is that it isn't that large, so you can only fit about 3 to 4 well-sized photos on here, so the output won't be as much, but we'll see how that goes and maybe I'll find another solution later down the line. So that's it for my first journal. Let's move on to the next one. So next is my Hobonichi Weeks. I also picked this one up at the Tobichi store in Tokyo. Since I was quite late to picking one up, all the stock was running low, so I only managed to get this one in the Japanese format, but that was not a big deal for me. So last year, I would use digital means of tracking what I did in a week or a month, but I felt that I would still forget when something was coming up because I don't check my calendar that often. I've been inspired to pick up and try a Hobonichi Weeks just to see if writing it out will help me map out and keep track of important deadlines and tasks in my life. I love how the slim size makes it really easy to carry around, and the weekly layout helps me see my week at a glance. Writing something down versus typing it out in a Notion or a calendar makes me feel like everything kind of blurs together after a while, so I think bringing it back to pen and paper could be a nice way to help me remember things better. So in terms of how it's going so far, I think I'm still getting used to the layout of the weeks. I've kind of got into the habit of putting tasks or important information on the left side of the page, but I haven't found a great use for the right side. I'd love to know if you guys own a Hobonichi Weeks, how you currently use it, because I'd love for more inspiration on how I can fully take advantage of the real estate on the right. On some weeks, I've used it as overflow of tasks from the left side, but I feel like that could get pretty messy or disorganized, so I want to make sure what I have on the left is quite different from what I have on the right, just so I have some organization on the page and some clear sections for certain things. I need to make sure I also fill up these month blocks as well, and I can't wait to add little stickers to each one of these blocks. So the design that I chose for the cover is based on Bichitsukai and Shin Bichitsukai, which are design craft books published in Japan during the Meiji period. There were so many beautiful covers that released over the past several months, but I thought this cover was very striking and I really liked the use of colors. I used a clear cover to protect the actual cover as well, and it also has some handy storage on the inside. I've added a stencil at the front with some tiny symbols that can help me identify different categories of tasks from a glance, so I'm really excited to use that. As well, in the back, I have my pencil board that's also designed for this cover. As well, in the back, there are some tiny planner stickers that are perfect for the week size, I think, and will also add some character and some fun to my planning. And so I'm really excited to use the weeks this year in hopes that it'll bring some organization into my life. We anticipate some fun things down the line with Nook ends, so this will help as things ramp up. Third on my list is my Traveler's Notebook passport size. I picked this up at the Traveler's Factory store in Kyoto, and it's in this beautiful olive color. So this is also a new format of journaling that I've never tried before. I'm still quite new to journaling in the grand scheme of things, but I know that I'm naturally a collector of many things and thought that this would be perfect as my everyday memory keeping journal. I could use it to journal about specific events or day trips, trips into the city, and just a place to keep all my ephemera that I collect throughout the day. So I haven't started using this one yet, but I have some exciting events coming up this year, so I definitely want to use it then. I've been following the Traveler's Notebook community for some time now, and I think my favorite thing about this notebook is how customizable it is. You can add any inserts, switch things out, and really make it your own by adding charms and stickers. I think the design of the notebook itself is unique and keeps everything pretty nice and tidy. The passport size is also just so cute and portable, and I can imagine myself bringing it everywhere with me. So in terms of the setup of the journal, I have a few notebooks in here. I have this blank insert with this really cool cover. I have a sticker release paper insert just so I can store some stickers, have them easily available, and also a place to store any packaging that might have some stickiness to it, and also a dot grid insert. Aside from inserts, I also have a pencil board from their Traveler's Town series. It has a really beautiful color combination, and I really love the gold accents that they used in the design. I also have at the front a clear folder to carry any business cards or little pieces of paper, and it has a little folder at the back where I store another Hobonichi stencil that has some travel icons on it. On the outside of the notebook, I've decorated the front with a 5 yen coin that I have left over at the end of the trip, and also I added this little Traveler's Notebook tag on the bookmark. So I can't wait to use this notebook. I can picture it coming with me everywhere I go, and as a way to easily carry little things that I collect throughout the day. I'm also looking forward to trying new inserts and seeing how they work for me. I just want to be cautious of how thick the notebook could become. Next on my list is the Tokyo Limited Edition Traveler's Notebook in the standard size. I ordered this directly from the Traveler's Company website last year when the Tokyo edition was first released. So how this will differ from my passport size notebook, I plan to use this notebook as my scrapbooking / junk journal. I can see it being an extension of what I'll be storing in my passport size, but just grander in scale and in effort. I don't imagine I'll be using it very often, maybe a couple to a few times a month, but I'll be putting more effort into the spreads and really having fun with it. I think this notebook won't really need a ton of organization to it, and I think it'll be the journal that I'm most flexible with. So I've already been using the journal quite a bit, most recently on my vacation, but how I have it set up right now is a bit messy. But I have a fabric folder that carries more of my larger pieces of paper, followed by a translucent folder that can carry business cards and also train tickets. And also on the other side, it can carry larger things like plane tickets and receipts. And followed up by another folder. This one is the craft folder. I've been collecting so many bits of packaging and ephemera and need somewhere to store it, so this journal has basically become that place. I have one single insert in here as of now, and I've mainly been using it to collect stamps from different places, like all the different Traveler's Factory stores, some stamps from a shrine I visited. Sadly, a lot of the stamps didn't come out quite nicely. You can see I tried a lot to get a good stamp in, but it didn't really work out. Some from the Yuriliku store, these ones are really cute. And I also did my first ever junk journal spread in here about my time in Kyoto, and this one was really fun to make. And now every time I flip to this page, I'm reminded about all the things I did and all the memories I made with my friends. So I can't wait to do more scrapbooking in here. In the back of the craft folder, I have this pencil board that I got from the Toronto Stationery Show. This is from their Love and Trip series. And in the back of the translucent folder, I have a place to keep all my ephemera, and more place for business cards. On the front, I've decorated it with a taiyaki and sakura charm that were part of the same drop as this notebook. I'm also in love with the foil design on the cover, and the corner of the book makes a good place to store a clip. I can't wait to do more fun spreads this year and to see how my scrapbooking evolves and changes. And last but not least on my list is my personal sized ring binder. I ordered this one from Moterm. They're a brand that makes a bunch of different journal tools as well as journals in different sizes and types. I first started to use this one last year to keep up things like my habits, different types of lists like things I ate, things I want to do, ink swatches, as well as a month and week and daily planner. This was a pretty fun format to adopt, but I stopped using it mainly because I thought I was being way too ambitious and had too many things that were happening all in one book. So for this year, I really wanted to slim it down and reduce the type of things I'm switching between, and to have this one just be a dedicated place to track various lists that I have to keep it organized in one place. So I'm most likely going to remove my daily, weeks, and months inserts now that I have my Hobonichi Weeks and Techo. So let's take a peek on what's going on inside. So I designed and printed these inserts myself, which is nice because you can customize it to be whatever layout works best for you. And so I have some to-do lists, I have this daily sheet, a habit tracker, this weekly layout, this month layout, and a place to track content recommendations, meal reviews, and this page is pretty fun. It's where I swatch all my inks. And in the back, I just have some spare paper. So this one's gridded, dash gridded, dot grid, and some blank craft paper at the back. Outside of the pages, I have this clear folder in the front that has a few pockets. I have these translucent dividers that help me stay organized, a bookmark that also acts as a ruler, and a clear folder at the back. My favorite thing about this binder is it's so easy to take out and move pages around. Same with the folders and dividers. This notebook also has some great storage in the front and the back for some extra papers. It's a very flexible setup, and I like how easy it is to just pop in and out of every day. On the outside, I have these corner protectors in this bronze metal to give some personality to it. And on the elastic band, I have this cute brass bear charm from the Traveler's Company. I got this one in the personal size, so it's a bit bigger than my Hobonichi, so I anticipate I'll mainly keep this journal at home as opposed to taking it out on the go with me. Funnily enough, last year I also got this ring binder in a smaller size, but it didn't really turn out to be that practical for me, so I think for this year I'm going to stick with the personal one. I'm excited to bring this one back into my 2025 lineup, and potentially we might see some new insert designs this year. Before I give my closing thoughts, I thought I'd do one more segment on some of the things I'm excited to use in my journal. I want to take advantage of the small stamps in my collection, so starting off with these themed stamps, I thought they'd be a perfect size to use in my Hobonichi Weeks because the rows and margins are much slimmer in that notebook. So this is a stationery themed set, so you've got things like a pencil, a pen, ink, tape, a book, things like that. And this one is nature themed, so you have a leaf, a bird, a flower, a butterfly. So these will be very useful in my notebook. I also like that they're in a very sturdy carrying case, so it makes it easy to take it on the go. Another small stamp set, so this one's also stationery themed. I thought they'd be perfect for the small grid lines in the Hobonichi. Here's another stamp set, and it features all these really cute emojis. And the way it works is you put it on your notebook and you press the design that you want, and it stamps it right on there. And I love how it's portable and has this case on the bottom to protect all the ink from drying out. Last for stamps, I have these two Shachihata stamps in different sizes. So for the big one, it has 13 designs. So the way it works is you rotate this wheel at the ends and it changes the design on the bottom. I love this design because it gives you so many design options all on one stamp. And the smaller one has 10 designs but has the same functionality. I think this will be very useful in my Hobonichi Techo or in my weeks, just to add some decoration to the edges, and also to decorate the calendar view. For ink pads, I have a couple here by Shachihata. They're very high quality inks and they're very vibrant, so I can't wait to use them with my new stamps. I have a bunch of these small scrapbook pads and they contain a bunch of small little designs, and I thought they'd be perfect to add to any spread in my traveler's notebooks. For correction tape, I use this one by Tombow. This one is the Mono Air 5 model. It's very slim and portable, and it works perfectly every time. For glue tape, I have a few in my rotation, but the one I'm using right now is by Elmer's, and it's very useful for gluing photos or when scrapbooking. To add some color and texture to my pages, I have these mini sticky notes that come in two different colors. For the designs, we have two different polka dots, we have grid, and we have a flower. So I thought these would be perfect for my Hobonichi Weeks, maybe on the right hand side, because I'm still playing around with the idea of what to put in that area. These are very cute and simple to put in my notebooks, so I'm excited to use them. For stickers, I wanted to use some stickers that can help me document my mood for a given day, so I thought these emoji stickers were the perfect solution for that. I like how they're very simple in design and there's a wide variety of emotions. Very excited about these ones. Some more stickers. So these are simply just colored dot stickers, but I thought I could use them to help me categorize different things in my Hobonichi Weeks or in my Techo. And I like how the colors aren't that vibrant, so they won't stand out too much on a page. These small brass bookmarks from the Traveler's Company should help me keep tabs on the key parts of my notebooks. They're very well made and I love the little designs on them. I have a huge sticker collection problem and I don't end up using any of them, so I swear this year is the year I let go of my anxiety and decorate the heck out of my notebooks. I have small ones that will work perfectly in my Hobonichi Weeks, and also some larger ones that will be perfect in my Techo. Please hold me accountable if you see any of my future spreads without any stickers on them. I 3D printed this modular 3-tiered washi tape dispenser, and the design makes it easy for me to swap tapes in and out. So this year is also the year that I use my tapes in my journals. And that's my journal lineup for 2025. Each journal has its own specific role, but together they cover everything. My Hobonichi Techo for daily journaling, my Hobonichi Weeks for monthly and weekly planning, my Traveler's Notebooks for a place for creativity and celebrating memories, and my personal ring binder to keep track of my lists and my short and long-term goals. And just as an example of how I could use it, I'll jot down my plans in the Hobonichi Weeks, but expand on them in my daily Hobonichi if I need more space, if I get a random idea or recommendation during my day, or just want a place to document my thoughts on a book or movie I read, I'll jot it down in my ring binder. And when I've collected a bunch of ephemera from a trip or an event, I'll scrapbook it in either of my Traveler's Notebooks. I'm so ready to dive into this lineup. Each one feels like it adds something really unique to my routine, and I'm just really excited to challenge myself and to try to keep them in my rotation and to figure out ways to make it work better for me. And I think that's really the beauty of journaling. There's so many approaches and ways you can go about it, and it all really comes down to how you want to use it. So for this year, I'm really excited to try every single format and to really give it my all. And there'll be a constant reminder for me to keep using my stickers, washi, and stationery. I'm curious to know what everyone's journal lineups are for this year. Let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Have a great 2025!